Hello students, in the last video we have seen the seasoning process which can be done on timber. So seasoning was aiming at to reduce the moisture content available in the mass of the timber so that we can use the timber with more durable and workable nature. So in this video we are going to see about the defects of timber. So understand the entire life flow of a timber product. So initially it was standing as a tree in a forest or any place, then it is being cut down, then it is being transported to the place where it is going to subject various other process, and in that place it is being stored and it is being seasoned, then again it is being stored, then it is being transported to the other place where further processing engineering processing are done. Again it is being stored and finally it is sent to the market where it is being sold out for its final purpose. And then the timber is actually used as a furniture material or any other application, then finally it is discarded. So this is the journey of a timber from standing as a tree to the final disposal. Throughout this journey, the timber product having a possibility to subjected to various defects in either natural way or man-made ways. So here in this video we are going to see about that defects and how to overcome such defects. So various defects which are likely to occur in timber may be grouped into following three categories. So first, due to natural forces, while it was standing as a tree itself, it was defect in nature, so that kind of defects. And second one, due to defective seasoning and conversions, you are converting it through seasoning and post seasoning processes, right? So during those processes certain defects are imported by uneven cutting or mistakenly hold or drilled, or during the seasoning might not be done uniform throughout the mass of the timber. So either of these chances, the timber is getting defected. Then finally during its final customer application stage, due to attack by fungi and insects, it is further deteriorated. So these are the three reasons, or under three categories we can understand the defects of timber. And if you see these images, you can able to understand how the natural defects are happening. You can able to see such textures and finishes, so this is called a knot. And the decayed knots in the sense it's a knot and it is being decayed, and in some place from this knot a certain branch may come out. So understand that, right? So these are can be able to seen in standing trees itself. So if you are getting your timber from such trees, your timbers of course finally would have these defects in it on their surfaces or their masses. So that's the thing. And finally the wind cracks. So in the cross section, so remember exogenous trees cross section we have seen in the last previous videos. So like that, that's a perfect example of a cross section. But certain trees may provide this kind of cross section also. So that kind of visible cracks is called wind cracks. And the surface of the tree itself may have these undulations, ups and downs. So that's are called upset, right? Then the cross sectional profile, and if you see the ring formation, if it may have shakes in the rings, right? So that shakes are called with the different names: cup shakes, heart shakes, that hardwood and annular rags are having the shake, so it is called hard shakes. And ring shakes, the ring itself will not following a circular pattern mostly, and it may have some shakes here and there, so the ring shakes. And finally star shakes, the external bark will have these kind of impressions from outside, so that it may get affected structurally, so whatever it may be. So for the visual understanding, it looks like a star, so they are naming it as star shakes. The shakes, cracks and knots, and of course along with the upset, so these are the defects which may happen in timber. So how to overcome such defects in case of timber? Of course, the regular option and a very normal option we used to tell is painting the surface of your timber, so that we can provide an additional layer over its surface, and we can resist them against getting damaged from the external parameters. But still, there are certain other options are available, so we should know, we should aware what are them, and what are all the benefits and limitations. So preservation of timber means protecting the timber from fungi and insect attack, so that its lifetime is increased, so that we can make them as more durable. Timber is to be seasoned well before the application of preservatives. What they are telling, these preservative application should be done only after the seasoning process. Before the seasoning process, we should not do any external coating to the timber surface. So that is the only condition. The first one is tar application. So hard coal tar is applied to the timber with brush, but still, tar provides extensive protection against fungi and insects. It's a cheapest way of protecting the timber. Main disadvantage of this method of preservation is the appearance is not good. Of course, tar looks black and it may, like a rubbery finish, and once it is being dried completely, and people don't may not like because of its bad appealing, right? And it cannot furtherly allow any paint to be painted on its tar surface. That is the other limitation with the use of tar. So hence tarring is made only for the unimportant structures like fencing poles. So temporary setups may be there here and there in your localities. You may able to find exhibitions, circus shows, and book fair. So for that, through 2 months, 3 months duration period, they may erect some wooden structures. So those wooden poles and the structure components may be applied with the help of tar, so that they can save those temporary structures against such fungi and insect attack. But for personal application, for example, for your own house, you are having a fencing wall around that, and you don't want your tar to be applied, right? Because of appearance issues. Then paints, of course, paints we are having, but the condition with respect to the usage of paint is you should go for number of layers before going for the actual paint application. People may call it as prime coat, so you have to scratch out the surface first to to some extent, then you have to apply the primer coat. So the primer coat only will hold on to your painting coat, so that it would have some more durability. So it's also finally depends upon how much number of layers you are providing, and how kind of weather it is being exposed to. So that defines your durable nature of your paint. Then third one is chemical salt. So these are the preservatives made by dissolving salts in water. So the salts used are copper sulfate, zinc chloride, and sodium fluoride. So copper sulfate, zinc chloride, and sodium fluoride. So these salts are mixed in water and becoming a solution. After treating the timber with these chemical salt, paints and varnishes can be applied to get good appearance. So what they are telling, chemical salt usage is like a preliminary treatment. Before going for the paint directly, you go for chemical treatment with these salt in as a solution format, so that your paint and other finishes may get attracted so strongly onto the surface of your timber, they are suggesting, right? And then again, chemical based creosote oil is obtained by distillation of coal tar. The seasoned timber is kept in an airtight chamber, and air is exhausted. which means that closed chamber, the timbers are being stacked one over another and the chamber is closed. Then creosote oil is pumped into the chamber at a pressure of some 1 Newton per mm square at a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. After 1 to 2 hours, timber is taken out of the chamber. So what happens? They are telling this creosote application has to be done in a closed environment. We should not allow this creosote spray to mix with the external atmosphere, because the creosote oil is a byproduct of distillation of coal tar, which is so health hazardous component. So once if you want to apply this creosote oil, you have to send a stack of timber inside a closed chamber, and inside that closed chamber people with full of mask and other lab coats or whatever it may be, they will pump and forcefully apply that creosote spray onto the surface of your timber in such a way that it applies all the surface of the timber. So then once it is done, after 2 to 3 hours it will be sent out, so that all the that creosote spray is being dissolved completely. So creosote oil is such an health hazardous applicant. So to overcome that creosote issue, Forest Research Institute, Forest Research Institute, which is located in Dehradun, have come up with an unique chemical solvent, right? So which is consist of 1 part by weight of hydrated arsenic pentoxide, and 3 parts of copper sulfate, and 4 parts of potassium or sodium dichromate. So that is the name ASCO, right? So arsenic pentoxide and copper sulfate, and finally they are having potassium dichromate. So that mixture has to mix with water. So then it comes as a solution, right? So first 3 chemicals are in powder form. In that range ratio, they are mixing 1 is to 3 is to 4. Arsenic pentoxide, copper sulfate, and sodium dichromate. And while mixing that powder, you have to add it with 100% of water, which means 6 parts of that powder and 100 parts of water. So 6 is the 100, like that. So then finally you will get your solution. If you apply this solution, it will be a better replacement for your creosote oil, because creosote oil, while we need to avoid that, it is coal based product, and using such creosote oil in a closed atmosphere by using certain manual labors is very highly health hazardous process. So to avoid that, people have come up with such option, right? So this is how people are doing and that prevention of defects. So how? By applying tar, paint, chemical salt, creosote oil, and finally ASCO as a researched out solution, right? So finally, uses of timber for heavy works like columns, trusses, piles. We will see trusses. What is that trusses? We will see in second unit in detail, and piles also we will see in second unit. So piles means one of the foundation for your buildings, right? For light construction work like doors, heavy construction and light construction, and other permanent work like railway sleeper, fencing pole, electric poles, and gates. For temporary works, scaffolding, centering, shoring, shuttering, packing of material, all these are related to your construction activities. Then decorative works, body work of transportation phenomena. Then industrial uses like pulp, for making papers. So cardboards, wallpaper. Again, plywood is an important application of your timber. Understand, right? So plywood would be the next topic. So it is recommended that plywood should be taken by all of you as a self-study element in this particular unit. So for the entire subject, the basic civil engineering, I would recommend this particular topic as a self-study portion, right? So in these previous videos we have seen timber as a construction material, starting from your classification, properties, seasoning, and finally defects and prevention and uses, and the plywood as a self-study element. So the next material we will be seeing about is cement.